Wow, that's fancy. Ooh. Can we do it again? One more time. No, no, no. Wow. Quite fancy, quite fancy. I love the new intro. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you myself. No, no. Welcome to M3 Live for Saturday edition. This is the year of our Lord 2022, January the 22nd. Yes, Happy New Year yet again. And before I get started on anything, I want to say welcome back to our contributor friend and general homie, Uncle Derek. Yay!
Hey.
Yeah.
He went around the world and yeah. But I will be talking to you later about your train trip and how that goes.
Okay, no problem.
So to my immediate right, we have the best hair in the business, the founder and proprietor of M3 himself, the talented and lovely Malcolm Travers.
What's up, guys?
Talented and lovely. I really like this. And again, down below, where he likes to be, by the way, is the talented and as equally as lovely Uncle Derek. Yay! Again, welcome back to your travels.
Thank you so much.
All right,
I missed you guys.
We
I miss you too.
Thank you so much. All right,
Yeah, for
again,
sure.
before we get started, anything, my personal condolences. M3 also sends out its warmest condolences to um, Regina King's family on the sudden passing of her son. We will be talking about at some point during the show today. Because I chose an upbeat topic, but news happens. So there you go. But we're talking about how to reach out to you. Because you ever see those, Uncle Derek, you ever see those topics on Facebook or whatever? Oh, nobody ever checks on their strong friends. It's true. Like, it is definitely true. It's nobody, if you seem collected together, still, everybody needs a good check in. And depression, people can hide depression very well. So check in on your friends and see what's good. Definitely. And let
Yeah.
them.
Very true. Very, very true.
We love your work. We love you. We love you as Brenda. You are an excellent mother because your child is gone. That does not mean you stop being a mother. You are very much a mother, and you're a Mother Earth. We love you in my heart.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, what a baby! 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 Okay, so we're gonna get on to some news. A little bit of news. Joe Biden's agenda is up in smoke. I don't even know. Like, I guess, Malcolm, all I'm going to say at this point is that the government is not governmenting, and fuck it, it's neither party is going to do anything for anybody. It's we're going to now be governed by executive orders because he's going to be taken to the pen, and he's going.
Well,
to
here's the thing about the political theater that they did was that they proved that they put people on the record as saying they voted against voting rights. They got them on the record that they voted against the filibuster reform because they did both of those, right?
Hey, Brandon.
And I think that the point forward is to just find something else to pass before Republicans take over, because they are. I mean, they manufactured the vote, the districts because of the census this year.
But that's the thing.
Exactly. Exactly. They didn't even have to do that. I'm just saying, it's like, it's overkill.
I mean,
they're gonna get the house.
all that voting that happened last year, and it's not gonna happen again.
Right.
No, not for midterms. It's just like
not for midterms, and not 3 years from now. You can't keep, as somebody said, you can't keep. I can't get you to the dance and then you leave me outside, and we keep getting left outside. So
but the other thing is, in a democracy, it really takes two parties or three parties to govern.
Yeah.
And when you have one that is just not interested in governing, that's what. Brandon Hines, he's the best realtor in the business. Y'all looking for a house or anything, and he has the best hair in the business. So if you guys are looking for a mortgage of any sort, a house of any sort, hit me up and I'll put you in touch with Brandon. Yay! And type, I didn't forget you from across the pond. We had a whole topic. Oh, you were here last week when we were talking about
I think actually after doing that, I'm gonna actually have to start reading more stuff from the UK. Like I slowly getting into The Economist, and I think the what was it? I guess BBC, some of their
Yep.
updates. But yeah, I think I have to make a concerted effort to like keep up
Yo,
on some of the UK news.
news from the politics from the UK. Rough. They
Yeah, it is definitely illuminating. Yeah, just to remember that this is not the way it has to be, and that it gets you out of your own political problems, and you can still talk about politics.
Right.
So I don't know. I
I
definitely
want to read your comment because I severely disagree with it. But so your comment is Biden seems to only care about saving Ukraine from Russia. That is not true.
I'm sorry. What was the comment? I didn't hear the last part.
I'm sorry. Type underscore effectiveness. Y'all go find him. Don't find him on the internet. Biden only seems to care about saving Ukraine from Russia. I disagree. I totally disagree. The president is only a figurehead, and what do you do? Like, I never in my adult life thought I would say I give up on politics, but fuck it, I give up, yo. It's gonna be the same shit.
I did it 4 years ago, so hey.
Oh, did you? So no, I Uncle Derek, I will encourage those Americans because I care enough to vote, and I will vote. So I encourage all those Americans, however tough it is to vote, please vote, people. And that's the only way that we're going to collectively get out of this thing, or not. So, whatever. I think Georgia, Malcolm and I were talking about Georgia. Interestingly enough, I think the demographics have shifted enough for us to. It's coming along, and I think that we as in Black people of the state of Georgia. Well, I don't vote in Georgia. Fuck Georgia. I am a very proud New Yorker, and I will stay that way. I will not change my residency to Georgia. And so, well, you live there, you're governed by that. But I just don't. In case it breaks out, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the Hunger Games, to quote Brandon. It's the Hunger Games, yo. And I keep my ID the same. I keep my address the same. I still have an address there. That's mine. And that's it. So,
but no, there is some interesting things about demographics. That one, they were talking about when we were talking about it on Wednesday about how more Black people are moving south. It is true that it is happening in Florida as well, though.
It is happening.
There were two. I can't remember if it was Orlando and Miami are both seeing high influxes of Black population. So,
yep.
I mean, it is. I mean, it is shifting the political landscape there as well. But
and so
I don't know.
And as Malcolm and I discussed quite often and openly, you can't do anything about demographics. Like the Republicans, they can gerrymander the middle of America. Yep. Type, please vote. You can gerrymander the middle of America all you want, but whatever. But moving on, COVID, it's out there. Wear a goddamn mask, okay? All right.
Even then, I had COVID.
Yeah, no, right?
Yeah,
and that's the thing. A lot of people who got COVID were doing everything right.
But the vaccine does not preclude you from catching COVID.
Right.
Somebody inboxed me. They told me they didn't know what a KN95 mask looks like. Here you go.
Yeah, aren't they giving those out next week too as well?
They're giving them out next week. Amazon has taken my money. So,
and I guess you're eligible for
giving the mask out.
Yeah. I know, right?
Years they're giving tests out after years.
I know, like it was.
Way to stay ahead of this.
No, it's so hilarious that the press secretary was actually incredulous when someone said, "What do you expect us to do? Just send them to everyone?" Just do that.
Yeah. So let me explain, because this was a real inbox thing. So they were like, the person was like, "Oh, my cloth masks are dope. I don't want to give them up." But you see, it's multi-layered there. It has more reinforcements there. I feel like Vanna White. It has more reinforcements there in the middle. And it has, it's reinforced here for your pleasure. So
So they said they're going to give up to 3 per household, I think, and 4 tests per household. Yeah,
It's 4 tests per household and 3 masks per person
per person. Okay, okay.
No, with all the doom and gloom I give you, thank you for for bearing with me. We have to give y'all black folks news that you can and cannot use. It is totally however you take it. But here on the show, we do encourage you all to vote, 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 vote. That's the only way we're gonna get anything done, changed, or and shit like that. But yo, on to the main topic for today, which I'm mad excited because I was like, yo, I need to do something like mad happy. Like people like, oh, you guys are always so serious. You're talking about rape and sexual abuse and blah, blah, blah. And we do. It's real heavy.
Yeah.
Shit is important, yo. Like, I mean, if you're being sexually harassed, abused, contact us. We have resources. We can. I don't know. Yeah, I can't run in your house and save you from your joint hitting you, but I can definitely point you in the right direction. To get you some help. So last week, for those who tuned in, I asked you all to please do some homework. And your homework was for the next 7 weeks, I'm going to do 7 songs that have changed my life. And I'm going to be the gracious host as I always am. And I'm going to let Malcolm go first. And we're going to discuss his choice and why. And Jeffrey will be joining us momentarily. But I'm going to ask Malcolm why this song, why this artist, and why this song. And then we're going to talk about maybe the collection of songs the album the song comes from. So like what album the song comes from and what genre. And then because I know Uncle Derek, my lists are all over the place. So it has and then I even have some duality there in my list. Because yesterday we had a change. So Malcolm, you first, since you're on the field leader here in 3.
Yeah, I feel like my choice is pretty shallow, but I'm gonna go with Billie Jean, Michael Jackson. When I was a kid, I remember. I don't know. I just remember that song. I mean, the video and just like wanting to dance in public, which I can't even really do right now. Yes, I'm very shy, but yeah, Michael Jackson made me want to dance. So,
and that's powerful.
That's powerful.
It is.
So let's talk about when you heard do.
Yeah.
Did you get like the groove and you start doing it? Did the sidewalk light up for you, friend?
It was very magical. It was. Considering I was like 7 years old when it came out, mind you.
Now, you a 12 kid?
Did you see the music video first, or did you see it when he premiered it on the Motown special?
I think I saw the music video first.
Uncle Derek, was that the premiere of Billie Jean?
I think it was, but I'm not absolutely sure. I could be wrong.
If anyone knows the answer in America or around the world, or listeners in Spain, let us know. Somebody, one of our viewers and listeners, they know. So hit us up. Let us know. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think I saw the music video first, and of course I was just amazed by the artistry of it, and like, oh, how did they light up the sidewalk? Whatever. Just like it was very magical. And then there were like kids in my neighborhood who would dance to different music or whatever. They say, like have a jukebox or they had their, stereo or whatever. And I brought my cassette, give me some Billie Jean. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it was that and Thriller and just I guess the entire album. But
so let's talk
pretty much the whole album, but my favorite was Billie Jean. So
correct. John Riddick, how you doing, sir? Hi. Stephen Blue, how are you? What's the question again? A song that has changed your life, sir. And you guys who are following along, please feel free to type your comments in the section. I will read them as we go along. Billie Jean for me, because I'm a little older, Malcolm, was not quintessential Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? Like I really,
like it's so funny.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say what's so funny about it is now that I was watching some TikTok video where someone said there is at least 2 other mentions of Billie Jean in previous songs of his,
Mhm.
which kind of went like unrecognized because it was just
Oh, I did not know that.
yeah. I'm trying to remember. You got to be starting something. He mentions some girl in that named Billie Jean as well,
Ooh.
and I forget, but it's like from previous albums. So it's like the fact that he, did
It
a
was a
song.
reoccurring thing.
It was a reoccurring thing. Yeah.
Now,
Talking
were
about
you
Billie Jean.
equally as moved by Billie Jean's song?
I'm not sure which one.
What
I'm
was
Billie
the-
Jean. I'm mad as hell. I'm a woman with a story to tell. Superstar. You know just who you are.
So it's gonna be like the real Roxanne. She's gonna come back with a diss track.
It wasn't this. No, there's a song.
I did not know that.
Yeah. That's how it goes. I'm Billie Jean.
Okay.
I'm mad as hell. I'm a woman with a story to tell. Superstar. You know just who you are.
Okay. Is that like
That's tight.
is that like Don't Mess with Bill?
Kind of, sort of.
I love it. I absolutely love Black People.
But yeah, it was a response song.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I did not. So for me, the album in its bigger sense was the phenomenon. You know what I mean? Not
Right.
I don't know if it was because for me that album, Say was the song for me on that album.
Okay.
Even as a fucking, I don't know. You were 7 when Billie Jean came out.
hmm
What are you now? 41.
Or I was 6 and I turned 7. Yeah.
Oh,
so-
wow.
41.
Hmm?
What was that? 84.
80.
No, 87.
I was gonna say it was the I was in
No,
Yeah,
it was
I was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
in 84. Uncle Derek.
87.
87.
Oh, Billie Jean was Thriller was 84.
Yeah.
Oh, Malcolm, you were way younger than
Yeah.
4 or 3 because in 84, the talented Mr. Drayton was 11. So yes,
Yeah. So it was like that's why I chose it as one of my first memories of popular music, or just
Amazing.
really,
amazing.
yeah, music in general. Yeah.
Amazing.
It's
So before we get, thank you for that memory, and we're also going to be discussing the memories and the songs, and it doesn't necessarily have to be good memories. I mean, unfortunately, sometimes songs can bring back
yeah,
trauma.
that's a good
Oh
point.
yeah.
Yeah, and things, and some on my list will get into bring back incredible memories of trauma and victimization.
Yeah.
That nature. Miguel, how are you? Welcome, New York. John,
Hey.
welcome. Stephen, welcome. No, he's in California. Thank you for joining us, sir. Which, John, Stephen, I'm sorry, Stephen, I really want you on the show. Stephen is a seamstress who makes dresses for famous drag queens.
Okay.
So,
That is interesting. Yeah.
sit there, and he has wonderful stories. We can never seem to catch each other, but I do appreciate him being quite the fan of the show.
Yeah, that is awesome.
And that is very awesome. He is famous and well known in his own right. Thank you, Mr. Blue. We appreciate you and all those things. Before we go on to Uncle Derek, let's talk about. Oh, hi, Sammy. Matt to my heart says hello. Hey, Harlem in the house. Well, I don't know where you are right now.
Hey.
Definitely in the house. Listen, so Steven, speaking of Steven, he says Anita Baker, Sweet Love.
Mm.
Sir, he's in his late 30s, early 40s, so you were a kid. You were in love as a 10-year-old? Oh, interesting. Sweet Love, Anita Baker. Now, yet again, that was one of those things where my mama liked it, my older sister liked it. So it was around the house, Uncle Derek, and it was like,
Right.
you know. I remember how all the girls would run to the hairdresser and be like, give me the Anita Baker cut. You know what I mean? Haircut like Anita Baker, looked up and down. Yeah. Oh, Malcolm. Steven
Yes.
said you have met him before. I would love to be on the show. And thank you for the shout out. Absolutely, because you are fascinating. We had some conversations at the wee hours in the morning, and you kept me awake.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, so super dope.
That's true, yeah.
Palm Springs. Map to my heart. How are you, brother? Again, shout out to Harlem. Miguel's in Staten Island. We got Virginia in the house. We got the UK, Spain, Australia. We love you all. Big, giant, giant, giant hug. Come on, guys. Come on with these songs. I'm moving on to Uncle Derek now. And for you those who just joined us, a song that has changed your life and the background on it. And so back to the Anita Baker before we move on. Though. Anita Baker, very interesting artist. Not one of my favorites, but I do respect. Look, here we go.
Always with you and always with the disagreement.
I just said she wasn't one of my favorites. She wasn't.
I drove our neighbor crazy with Anita Baker because my bedroom window was right across from her bedroom window. So one day she literally screamed out of her bedroom window, "Can you please play somebody else?"
What song did it for you?
No, I would just put it was her first album, and I just played the album.
Yeah.
You were so young, Uncle Derek.
I know, but she caught me. There was something about it. She snatched me right up.
Yeah.
So now that we are, so back to Steven. Steven says he was 9 years old at the time the Rapture album came out. That album is when my family discovered that I could really sing. Oh, so you did a little Mary J. Blige number on, huh? You started singing Sweet Love. Love it. Absolutely. Jalen Sanders, how are you, sir? Hey, y'all. I love it. I love it. You coming. Now, Miguel, you're a music person. Are you going to say somebody like Celia Cruz? She's actually on my list in upcoming shows, actually. If no Anita Baker, no Toni Braxton, sir. I get not to my heart. Listen, guys, I'm not saying that she started again. I'm not saying that I hate her or I dislike her. She's just not on my list. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, everything is not for everybody. I
just usually, if there's like someone really popular that I'm not really into, I just keep it to myself. I'm just gonna say it.
I had to take, I knew Uncle Derek was coming back. I had to take Adele off my list because
all I'm saying is.
So Sammy says, Derek, Anita had you caught up in the rapture. I
was completely caught up in the rapture. Me and our neighbors, because they had no choice.
They had no choice. I'm gonna tell you, when it comes to Anita Baker, what did it for me? The rocking. You know. It was the Ray Charles. That's when you know a musician was a musician, and they was in their shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was this. And
my great grandmother, because we at the time we only had the one VCR in the house, and it was in the living room. And so when the TV was available, I had my Anita Baker videotape, and she used to call her the Penguin. She just moves back and forth. She waddles like a penguin. Why is she doing that?
So I'm gonna tell you, don't y'all send my brother no hate mail. I'm just telling you, right? Don't y'all? I'm gonna take.
You have to send that to my great grandmother, and she thrived on hate mail. So
she does. She loves it. Grandma loves hate mail. She does. She gets all of it. Right. The Greatest Love of All by Whitney Houston.
That's good.
So much self-love and care. She always understood the assignment. Yeah, too bad she didn't live that. But
I get it though. Yeah, I think that one gave me chills. It was a good song for sure.
What, Uncle Derek? I see you down there. What?
No. I do not fault anybody they Whitney Houston love, because that woman had a voice. It never connected with me the same way it connected with other people. Again, I appreciated her instrument. I'll give her all her props. But that whole connection that people had with Whitney Houston, there's one Whitney Houston song that I absolutely love.
Okay.
And it is for all the wrong reasons.
And I think I'm with you on that. And I love Whitney Houston. But like the song that I connect with for Whitney is probably
my favorite Whitney Houston song was at the height of her her addiction, and it was called "What You Looking At," all one word. because it sounded like somebody was on crack. And felt like, why is everybody looking at me? And
Oh, no, I gotta.
song about it.
Okay, here we go. I need to
We
put
love
this on my playlist.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
called, Malcolm, it's called What You Looking At? All one word.
I think I remember
I
that.
love you, Whitney. And
God is the reason my soul is free. And I don't need you looking at me. Those are actual lyrics. Those are actual lyrics.
See, this is why I want this conversation. Things we all gonna learn today. We're all gonna learn. Steven says Anita Baker was in pure perfection when she recorded "Good Love" from her "Giving You the Best That I've Got" album. Yes, I challenge anyone to get into that song. Yes, now that's Anita Baker. That is my Anita Baker. Because
At least to that last album she did.
yeah, giving you the best that I got. I don't know. I think she co-wrote it, but it came from a woman in love. It came from a woman in love, and it was just vocally wonderful. And Anita Baker, hats off. Matt to my heart says yes, it is. It was just pure perfection. So
Yeah.
all right. Oh, Sammy chimed in and says that Anita had him caught up in the. There he is. He is the music.
Hey, stranger.
Hello, hi everybody.
Y'all hug it out
Hey.
before we get y'all go ahead and hug it out for me. Ooh, I miss you. I love you so much. Okay. Hi Jeffrey, welcome. I'm glad you could make it. Appreciate it. I was about to go to Uncle Derek for the assignment, but I'm gonna give him another reprieve and go to you because you've had a week to sit with this. And Uncle Derek only had about 25 minutes.
I
So-
mean, ain't nobody gonna know my song no way, so it don't matter.
Yes, we will. Well,
I
that's
bet
the
you
case.
won't.
I will. That's the case. Let me go to you, Uncle Derek. What is your song?
My first song for week 1
Okay.
is Turn the Page
The
by
artist.
El DeBarge from his sophomore solo album, Gemini.
Was that the one with Who's Johnny on it?
No, that was his freshman
That
album.
was the first.
Gemini. What was
Yeah.
the single on Gemini?
I don't know that there was one that everybody knew. I'm an El DeBarge fan, so I had most of his albums, most of his solo albums. But again, people knew him from the group. But once they split off, everybody had their favorites. So, yeah, he's got the song. He's got the song called "Turn the Page," which turned into my breakup song. Whenever I had a breakup,
Okay.
I would put that motherfucker on repeat, and I'd just be turning the page. And again, the music that I played affected other people around me. And one day, my mother banged on the bathroom door, and she said, "Oh my God, the book is over. The book is done. There are no more pages to turn. And you turn that shit off and put on something."
Oh god.
No, that is the funniest shit I heard all day. The book is done.
The book is done.
So what else was on this album that you love?
Oh God.
The big hit on this album was "Somebody Loves You." That was a huge hit for him.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
that was that which was the single. Okay, now
That was the lead single and the biggest hit off the album.
Right.
Yeah.
Because unlike we're kids of a certain generation. I'm a radio person, so I remember whatever they played on the radio.
Right.
Right.
There was not a black station in my area until
I think I think Broken Heart, Broken Dreams was on that album too.
It is.
Yeah.
Type says hello, Pastor.
I'm not preaching
Hello,
today.
where we got that nickname from?
I missed my life was gone.
I love it.
Yeah.
Again, all you
think,
guys always tuning in and giving us the best that you have, Nordy. Sammy says, I really loved with a little help from my friend Joe Cocker's version because of the Wonder Years, which I went on to do a competition to that song, come in 10 for wait a minute, came in top 10 of performance. That is a great song. That is a great song. That is and now I got to see now I got to go revive my list because I forgot all about Joe Cocker. God damn it! which he I think, is he still living, Jeffrey?
I'm not sure if he is. He's pretty old, but I'm a fan. So I love Joe Cocker.
El Bachton, I loved El. However, I was stone cold in lust with Chico.
Chico the Barge.
Yeah, I think now you can probably have it. You got an $8 and $10. So
it's great. Do we need to mute your mic already?
Yes, I'm the host. I will have no muting here. Y'all got what? Y'all got goddamn 27 minutes more of me in this bullshit. So
27 minutes and counting.
27 minutes and counting. So there you go.
They say he passed away in
2014.
Wow.
Okay.
And yeah, so Joe Cocker, great body of work, great voice, great humanity, great human. He was really
was.
El Blockton says I was so wrong for that. Not even. All right, so now, Uncle Derek, we did not know you were an El DeBarge fan.
Oh, I am a huge El DeBarge fan.
That is so interesting. Like I would have picked 1,000 artists for you before I got to El DeBarge. Goddamn, you just didn't think you know somebody, you don't.
Yeah.
Not that El DeBarge is a killer, great talent, comes from a very talented but sad family. They're Bunny, Chico. Their story just didn't end well.
Those big musical families. There always seems to be some kind of tragedy that.
But I thought I was gonna grow up and marry Bunny though. Bunny was a bad girl, bad. Love you, Bunny.
I've always been sad. That none of the Kardashians sing, so that could happen to them and they would go away.
Oh my God. We're so being canceled, I think.
Oh, that's funny.
Kris Jenner, you don't make Kris Jenner is going to get all of us now.
Yeah, you know that bitch Mother Nature, yo. You better just watch out. Like, I'm sorry, Mother God, Queen Kris Jenner. I apologize for
Look, she don't have enough boys to have them start sleeping with black gay men so they can ruin their lives. So.
My mother calls them the Stitching Witches.
I get it.
Oh God, how's that a thing?
I think Kanye may have escaped the wrath. He seems to be just as successful.
Oh, honey, it's too late for Kanye. It's too late.
Oh,
Speaking of Kanye, I went back and listened since before we move on to Jeffrey.
Ray J should send Kanye a bouquet of flowers every week. Thank you for saving me. I mean, I know I'm a little off, but it could have been so much worse.
He is a fucking genius, though. I went back to Yeezus the other day when I was trying to figure out.
Yeezus was amazing. Yeah,
Yeezus is an amazing record, y'all. Check it. I mean, and Kanye's, and not saying because he's a fellow Gemini, but amazing little dude, yo. Amazing guy. Amazing. Sammy, we don't need the Kardashians to become the 2022 Partridge Family. We do not. We're gonna set that to the side and say fuck that. All right. So now that we are on to something else, fuck the Kardashians. We know how we are.
Right.
I don't feel that way about the Kardashians.
I'll take a hard pass.
A really good friend of mine is their stylist. So
why do we know who they are? They do nothing.
Wait a minute, Malcolm. Hold it. A really good friend of mine is their stylist. So I have a connection to Whitney. I love Whitney Houston. And so I'm not going to shit on, no. And it's like I have a connection to the Kardashians. Brother, I love you. And Kardashians, y'all are good people. Just misunderstood, for sure. people do strange things for the limelight. We'll talk about that in the Patreon. I will let you all know what my connection is to both of those people, both of those groups of people, because it's groups. We'll talk about that. Kim had a single out a few years back. A DJ friend of mine had it and told me that when he would play it, people would leave the floor. Speaking of people on the floor, another album I picked up trying to diffuse myself was Puffy's album Press Play. Was a really good album.
It really was. Actually, that's a great album.
Press Play is a good album.
I'm sorry. All I can think is the building is on fire and people won't leave. Put on that Kim Kardashian out.
Didn't I just tell y'all we're not having this conversation?
I'm sorry. That was all I could think of at that point.
Every club had that one song they played when it was time to go.
Yeah. Like, thank you for being a friend. There was a bar in Richmond when that was the song of choice when it was time for everyone to leave. Thank you.
Okay.
The Generator used to play. Tyrone, the DJ at the Generator, used to play "The Last Dance" by Donna Summer.
That's a great song.
Type says, "I do feel bad for Kanye. Kim has 50% of company, which is never should have gotten ever. If we were married, but that's none of my business." No. She popped out as kids. She just no. Let me tell y'all something. Here's the thing about it. Like, I'm not per se a Kardashian fan, but Ye is not in he is crazy. He is batshit certified crazy.
Absolutely.
And God bless her, and she does what she can. Okay, Jeffrey.
Yes, sir.
Blocker said the shade. Not the Kardashians. Someone said. Yep, that's where we are. Jeffrey.
Yes, sir.
This is gonna be good.
Of course, it is
gonna have a good ass song.
Yes,
wow.
Right.
I'm here for
it. I think I know your first answer. I'm gonna see how well I know you in my mind. But we talk about, just to let everybody know, Jeffrey and I are music people. Like I have a couch and vinyl in front of that couch, and we sit there and we talk. That's the one thing that makes us feel better about sick, sad world that we live in. Give us your week one choice.
Oh, I have so many, but I'm gonna go with one that especially considering we just talked about Last Dance. Last night a DJ saved my life.
Really?
I, as a young kid, growing up in the South, we didn't have a lot of, culture outside of sometimes being in the clubs. And of course, when you're 16, you're not supposed to be. But I can share this now. But I had my very first gay club experience at 17. Actually 16.
Bad
I was bad, but I was good. So, but just the words of that song, last night a DJ saved my life from a broken heart. Like, that literally at one point was a very real reality for, I think, a lot of us. Like, we found refuge in the club. We found safety. I know for me, even though I was in the club underaged, there were people that really looked out for us because they knew we did not have anywhere else to go. So we went to Loretta's and Tracks and these other clubs, and we were able to get in. Sometimes we weren't, but a lot of times, it was a space of safety. And it was also it was an empowerment thing for us, because I tell people, I remembered.
Who's the artist on that? I know the song. I'm sorry.
Huh?
Who's the artist that I know the song? But
the original. Well, I have listened to the King Britt did it back in '97. The original was done by a little known group. I have to remember them myself. Hold on, I just had it.
Hey James, how you doing?
Prince In Deep is the name of the original.
Yeah.
Of course, Mirage redid it.
I see Uncle Derek's face like, what? Wait, it's coming to me.
No, I was trying to remember the name of the group.
It was.
I knew it was in here, but it's not something. Yeah.
So, but I literally, being very young and gay and not really We didn't have role models. We didn't have, and the club was where we went and literally found our freedom in our life. And I never will forget it. We used to, we didn't always have cars. We would take the train to the club, take the last train to Loretta's. You would party all night and then take the first train. You go to IHOP, kill some time, take the first train home. But I remember one time I was a young man that was walking, obviously in the direction me and my friends were walking, and very masculine, very kind of butch guy. And we all ended up at Loretta's, and you had to check your coats and stuff. And he looked like a thug if you looked at him. Like, he had on the Timbs and the baggy pants, and he opened up that bag and pulled out a pair of 6-inch pumps. He took them Timberlands off, and when he got on the floor, you could tell that there was just a release there that he did not feel anywhere else. And when last night a DJ Saved My Life came on, and he literally did, as we would say, he twirled, and he got his life. And you could see just the freedom in that. And for all of us, that's what it felt like. And like so many of us, he did it literally, but when he got done, he went and got his bag.
He put his boy drag back on.
Exactly. He put the Timberlands back on, and he walked out, and you would not have ever known. And for so many of us, that was how a lot of people had to live, and even still live. So
that's the detriment to not having clubs like that anymore. Right. Because I worked at the Generator, I used to see that. I remember this guy that came in, and the first time he came in, he had the baseball cap on, and he had these big ass mirrored sunglasses. He was sitting in the corner, and he wasn't really talking to nobody. I was bartending at the time, so he talked to me, but that was about it. And then, like 3 months later, he was running up and down the motherfucking bar to the music and just being free and himself. No hat, no glasses. Look at me, motherfucker, I'm free.
Right. Yeah. And it was exactly that. That's one of the reasons why, like I tell people, I have a lot of, like, my list is long, so we didn't get it. But I have a lot of songs that, because my music, I hear things. I learn better by hearing. I realize I'm an audio learner. But definitely because music, like, I have memories that are attached, and I can tell you, I'm pretty detailed in my memories, but I can tell you if there was a song playing or if it brought up an emotion. But in that moment, it was the freedom that came from that, and just like, even in that, like, literally to just literally dance the night away, and it was hilarious because I used to love the show Castle when it was on, and they played an episode last night, or they played Last Dance, and it was about this old disco similar to Studio 54 back in the day. And these mobsters that it came out later that the two guys were in love with each other. They were gay, but they were mobsters. So he basically told the mobster to go and marry a woman. He ended up getting killed. It was a whole thing. But at the end of the show, they played Last Dance, and they showed this guy standing on the floor and just dancing. Like, you could see, like, even though he was acting, there was like, wow, this breath of fresh air. And it actually brought me to tears, to be very honest, because it was just so emotional and powerful. Just because of the music and that.
Dope. L. Bicton says, I am here to tell you that for me, I thought it was dance. What is that?
Darcel Wayne of the Solid. I know.
Oh my, not Darcel, the Black Queen in the front. Yo. that is crazy. The question is, again, to reiterate for the audience, a song. You have 7 of them. We will do it for 7 weeks. That changed your life. We want memories attached to it and shit like that. So, mine, now I feel like I need to pick something that has a little more, but it's really personal to me. So, and I had to do a little switching up. So let's go. L. Bridges is exactly. He says, for me, in his area was a club called Ho John's, the club where you learn the culture. Yeah. I think for me it was. I was kind of a late bloomer with divorce and stuff. So the Bachelor's Mill in DC was
the meal.
And I used to drink gasoline from a cup.
No, the one time I went with a friend of mine who was known in DC. He did what we call holding court. And we were upstairs at the Mill, and I never will forget it. I gone to visit him in DC. It just was kind of hanging out. And he decided to sit at the end of the bar and announce that I was one single and by myself. And I have never been that drunk in my life. I woke up the next morning still. I cussed him out. I was like, I'm not partying with you no more. I woke up still drunk the next day.
That's fucked up. That's really-
But those experiences were, like I tell people, like Derek said, I was just talking to a friend earlier today. I do think that there's something that the fact that we don't have any black spaces anymore like that is dangerous because, I'm all for inclusivity and people kind of merging and partying together, but those spaces were sacred and special.
Yeah.
We cried in those spaces when we lost people. We celebrated people when they had successes. It was family.
Yeah.
I remember, like I tell people, I would see some of those people out and we didn't out each other or whatever, but you also knew that if something went down, they would probably have your back. So we just don't have those type of connections anymore.
Yeah.
I could do a whole show just on stories from the generator.
Right.
Look, I think that should be one of your shows, Derek.
Maybe I'll get some of the old gang. I'll get some of the old gang back together. There's a few of us left.
You are the Barbara Walters.
Yeah, we'll be good.
Yes, I was gonna say a Derek Jones special.
We'll give you that CBS special music, corresponding music in the back. Okay, so I guess it's my turn.
Yes.
And, I had to do a little something because, like Jeffrey, my shit was a mile long, and there was a lot to think about. And I was supposed to be doing people work and shit, and I couldn't focus because I was like, I need to focus on this. But so mine took a slight turn. So the song I was going to do was "Nanakitu Pa" by Nina Simone.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
It is very good.
Yeah, that introduced me to Nina Simone. But in that, I have to say, Ledisi came along in 2020 and did a version of Nanakitu Pa in English and in French. Nanakitu Pa is a song that's in French. Nina Simone does the entire song in French, and it's a song describing how she did not want her lover to go. She will cease to live until he comes back. She'll be dying until he returns. And I love her version, but Barry Morton says, love that Nina tune. Yes. So I'm sitting, I don't know where I was, Jeffrey. I don't know if you told me about this or was it Gavin? I don't know. But somebody's like, Ledisi did 7 songs from Nina and she released it. I was like, bah humbug, fuck Ledisi, she sucks. Brr. So on the way, me and Gavin, we eat all the time. So we got something to eat. And he says, no, I'm going to play. He said, I know you love Nanakitu Pa. I'm going to play Nanakitu Pa for you. And it's her passion. Her passion with the song and her, I don't know what connection. Well, she's Creole, so she connected to the French parts of it, I'm sure. But I openly wept as a 48-year-old grown man. A song made me openly weep. And I didn't miss anybody, but it was just her level of talent and skill and her passion. It was like watching a movie or a play unfold. Like you knew the ending, but her delivery was one that for the ages. And of course, she got nominated for every Grammy there is for that album, and she should win each and every one. And this song started off at number 7 for me because the first of 7, because it's amazing how you can hear one interpretation of a song and absolutely fall in love with an artist, and then somebody else can. And neither one of these ladies wrote this song. He's a French composer. He wrote this song, was originally done in French. Stevie Wonder has a version. Celine Dion has a version. And it's amazing that Stevie's version did not move me. But Steve, I mean, his version didn't move me. But Stevie's on the list of these 7 songs. So Stevie, Uncle Derek, I didn't say Stevie does not move me.
I heard what you said.
I am a Stevie
I
fan.
said nothing.
I saw your face. You covered it
I had
up.
a reaction, but I said nothing.
You might be saying more than you think. Just saying.
Right.
That face said it.
As a kid say, it's the face for me.
That's what it was. So number two, it's sometimes there is, and I think all the songs on my list coming up in the next few weeks have an emotional connection. So the life connection for me with Nina Simone was I had just moved to DC. I was free of a marriage, and so I started going down the rabbit hole of her songs and her catalog, and it opened up another world for me. I mean, it's kind of fancy to be a black man listening to a song in French, and so then furthermore, so I ended up going to France later that year. France, Lady Pass washes you. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I ended up going to Paris later that year, and I heard what's her name? Oh my God! Oh Jesus! From Groove Theory, Emile LaRue.
Mhm.
She was at what's that venue in Paris?
The
Oh my
I know what
God!
you're talking about.
Yeah,
The Roots play there, and
yeah,
it's very
Prince.
popular. Jill Scott and all those.
Yeah. She did
Something.
Play there.
Yeah,
something Marcel,
yeah, something Marcis or something.
yeah, Marcise Le Tribuel or whatever. it is.
Right, something like that.
She did it, and I was no fan of hers. So, but she did this song, and she killed it. She has this little light, airy, wispy voice that she needs about 4 mics to be heard. Janet.
Hey, I'm a fan, so be careful.
Me too.
I love her.
Her American Standard album is amazing. So I said that to say, even through the time, through audience, through different artists, a song can live and live on vicariously through the artist, and each generation, in each iteration of the song, takes on a new and a completely different life. So, and I see you guys over here having a conversation about Aaliyah. So, in upcoming weeks, there is an Aaliyah song on my list.
I just discussed that with somebody too, so that is actually a song on my list of from her. But also, I was going to say to your song, Greg, also Eartha Kitt recorded that.
She did,
and her version was absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Eartha.
My song for Eartha is James. This will be a setting for one. And man left her, and she tells the butler she's only eating by herself now.
Right.
Go Eartha. She is a gem.
Her birthday was just last week. So
was it?
Yes. I did not know she was a Capricorn, but
she is a Capricorn. So my connection to Eartha is I'll never forget her and James Brown died on the same day. That's a diva.
Yeah, that was bad.
That's a diva. That's a diva. She died after him, so she got the coverage.
Right.
So she waited. She died like 2 hours after James Brown.
Yeah, that was a bad Christmas. I remember.
Yeah. But it's the changing of the guard. And I know, Jeffrey, you guys, all the audience wasn't here all the way, but we send our love, prayers, and condolences to Regina King. Again, who lost her baby boy AJ to unfortunate suicide. And I told you I was going to talk about this before we got the air. Check on your loved ones, man. People, just say, hey, just reach out. That commercial about mental health and the girl ask her friend, are you okay? It may seem like a Saturday Night Live skit. Very, very effective, though. Like, check on your people. Jeffrey, what do you have to add to that?
Well, I was just going to say exactly what you just said, but also, like you just said, to remember if you're on the receiving end of that question, it's okay to say you're not okay. We instinctually, when somebody says that you're okay, we just, knee jerk, oh yeah, I'm fine, or I'm okay. But if, use your resources, and this includes human resources in your relationships. People we always say, it's important to focus on self and to have, all that wonderful good thing inside of you that helps you be you and deal with your stuff independently. But, we were all put here together for a reason. No man is an island, which is very cliche. But yeah, there are a lot of people that are hurting, especially our young people right now. I know this young man was only 29, but you have to remember, we had experiences that we are of a certain age where we've been able to live our lives outside of a virtual environment. Like we just talked about the club, we went and interacted, and we formed different types of relationships, but also we developed certain skill sets that these younger people just are not getting because they are operating sometimes in silos here.
And not just that, we are in 2020 part 3.
Yeah.
And we've not actually had a chance because you can't process while you're still in the middle of. And we're still in the middle of.
Yeah. And I tell clients that often you cannot heal while in survival mode. One, because you're operating on adrenaline. And anytime we're operating at adrenaline, you're not going to fully feel what's going on. That's like they say when people they got that adrenaline going, they can get hit, they can get whatever. It's not until they stop that they feel those hits, and that works literally in all of our lives. Yep. So we have all been operating in survival mode, like literally, like they say, it feels like Survivor. Who's getting ready to get kicked off the island next? But but realistically speaking, just understand that, because like I was talking to a friend earlier. Me already being at times quite introverted. At times they were like, we talked about this before. I was like, hey, I ain't got to be around people. Cool. I ain't got to make up an excuse no more why I don't want to see you. We're in the middle of a pandemic, child. We can't. But some people, but like we've also talked about, for so many of us, this is the first time that we've had to be alone with ourselves. And a lot of us are seeing things that we're just not comfortable about, that we didn't. And we, people, like you say, we make the assumption everybody knows who they are. Everybody knows. No, we don't. That's just the reality. Everybody has not been able to have those sometimes very hard, real talks with self and say, look, bitch, you got some issues here, or we need to deal with this. And now when I'm now having to spend time by myself, I don't know this bitch that I'm with, even though it's me. So I have to, you know what I'm saying? I do that comically but seriously, because I tell people I'm that person that sometimes I will call myself a motherfucker and sometimes I might be a bitch. It just depends on what day of the week, because sometimes I'm just in that space. But we have to have very honest conversations with self. And sometimes it is that, I'm not in a good space, or this is something that I wasn't aware of. I know I've learned some things even about me during this time. But like I told people also, for some of us, especially those of us that, yet again, as a gay man, I've had to lose friends at a very early age because of HIV. That was a very real thing and a real reality for a lot of us. I lost about 50 to 60% of my friends before I was 21. So that was just sadly a part of how this epidemic. So, and that was a pandemic. Let's be very clear. It was a different pandemic, but a pandemic. Absolutely. And it still is. HIV and AIDS are still a worldwide issue. But now, because COVID it's airborne and it doesn't have to deal with all of the sexual isms and who you slept with and all this other kind of stuff.
But it still has some stigmatism on it and some negativity to it. Because I found that when I got it, I sat there like, bitch, why are you upset? What are you upset about? It's a whole natural, like the air is weaponized, and bitch, you was breathing. So what are you upset about?
But and a lot of people don't, and I was gonna say that, there is now stigma, because like I told people for years, we've been used to having the HIV conversation for those of us that are of a certain age. What's your status? Blah blah blah, X, Y, and Z. Now is, have you vaccinated? And have you had COVID? Or, are you out there like hanging out with, like, we are now asking a whole nother set of questions that have that same connotation. And absolutely, people are being judged. Not everybody that gets COVID was out there, like, we say free balling, raw dog. And I know Greg said that Greg was raw dogging it without a mask at one point. But that's not everybody's reality.
Why you have to go tell my business like that?
Look, now, can you play back the tape?
I like it wrong.
I know, right?
Play back that beautiful footage, Greg. But
open.
But there is a lot of judgment and stigma because because this has become quite politicized and it's polarizing and it's bringing out the worst in sometimes who we are as people. HIV did a lot of this, but in different ways. So yet again, we've seen this and we've been to this rodeo, but this is a different way. So. And also, like I said before, right now we have to understand within our community, just as with HIV, COVID is having a very adverse impact. And that is both physically, mentally, and emotionally. And the emotional impact is probably being felt because so many of us already did not say have community, like, as gay people, we a lot of us developed our families. Some of us lost family, whatever. And if you now see like these created families are now like, I can't be around them and my real family ain't there for me. That's just a real sense of loneliness and isolation that's going on. But my heart goes out to Regina King and her family. I think she's just an amazing individual. And like we talked about, she has been an advocate for mental health. But like I tell people, and I know part of what she might be thinking now is, how did I miss the signs? And I hope that she does not beat herself up in the judgment aspect of that, because some people are just really good at hiding things.
Yep.
And we've gotten accustomed to not always being fully who we are to the world. So it just makes it easier sometimes to hide when we're hurting.
Yeah. On the side conversation here, I was asking, what was this T-shirt? It was from Bougie247.com. Hello, my name is Peach. It's from the Nina Simone song.
I saw that.
For Women, which, coincidentally, Lettucey, Alice Smith, Cassandra Wilson, and I can't think of the fourth person. Forgive me, but they do it on this collection of 7 songs, and it's Lettucey Does Nina is the name of the album. It came out in 2020. Yes, she is currently on tour. Doing the album. It is wonderful. I missed her in Atlanta because Jeff didn't remind me.
I didn't even go see her, so I forgot.
Remember. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But Lettucey has covered Nina before. Like, this is not her first. And like I tell you,
the best.
Lettucey is, as I always say, she's a jazz singer first and foremost. She's an amazing vocalist, but jazz is her first love. So I've heard her live, just in different iterations, cover various songs like this. And back when the pandemic first started, she actually did a tribute to Nina Simone with the Royal Philanthropic Symphony in London. It was a live special that I hate that they never put on tape.
Yeah, Barry Moulton says, have you seen the YouTube clip of Lettucey singing with the big orchestra behind her?
Right.
This particular album. How dare I forget the icon, the diva himself, Andre Leon Talley has left us.
Yeah.
As a little black kid growing up in Chester, to see such a big personality in a caftan. You know what I mean? He was famous for his caftans and his quick wits. He hung out with people like Warhol and Basquiat. The Keepers, Donna Ross, the Keeper, Michael Jackson, Andre Leon Talley is a bigger than life icon who has opened the doors for people like Lil Nas X, for them to be like, he didn't sing, but no. He made it okay for little queer boys to be.
He was a revolution.
He was a revolution
just by existing.
He was even RuPaul quotes him as an influence. So, and we all know Mother Rue is an icon within herself, but
right. in a caftan.
Right.
Brother Andre, I did have an opportunity of gracing your presence a time or two. You were just as nasty and unrelenting as people think you were. You were. I appreciate the kind words. I appreciate who you were and who you are. It's the keepers of the gate are leaving us, and there's a generational shift happening. Because I'm almost 50, so people can't live forever. You know what I mean? Like, people that were the gatekeepers in my generation, it's time for them to go. You know what I mean? As in another 20, 30 years or whatever, it'll be time for us to go. And, hopefully we can live out a whole life. But, it's getting that time. So thank you, Nate James, for reminding me that Andre Leon Talley has left us, but he's left us with a lifetime of memories. Go check on YouTube when he read the fuck out of what's her name, Bigfoot girl, radio chick.
Wendy Williams.
Wendy Williams.
Yeah. Wendy's like, so what's up with you, Audrey? She was like, what you mean? What's up with me? Wendy don't start today, so it was a whole thing. I really enjoyed it. Let's see. P. Michael Williams, how you doing, Phil? What's going on, sir? It's okay. It's okay to say you're not okay. It really is, ladies and gentlemen. So as we end all shows, we will be continuing these conversations on Patreon. So join, guys. We are waiting for you guys to join in. Get all the extra content. Hit the subscribe button, ding dong button. So when all of our shows come on, click on. You'll see us tomorrow. Join DuPont in the Nerd Hour. We had a great honor sitting in last Sunday. It was fantastic. Jeffrey and I, thank you. As always, my partner in crime down there. It was really fantastic to sit in. We were talking about a very sad situation of the young man whose partner kidnapped him over a video game. So, of course, stick my 2 cents in. Was it the video game's fault? Well, what do you do as a parent when you want to police your kids? Malcolm, did you watch it? It's really good. I thought you'd be very proud of me. Expanding my horizons up there.
That's great.
I was definitely out of my range, but with the help of Jeffrey Donner. So let's go around the table. And since you just came back to us, welcome back, World Traveler. What do you have next week? How are the kids? How's Chicago?
Chicago is good. Still here.
I'm really excited about that, Derek.
I'm gonna be 100% honest here. It was very hard for me to get on the train and come back. Again, I had COVID during the middle of my visits, and so there were a couple days where my husband was like, I can't sleep on this couch no more. I'm gonna go stay over at a friend's house. And I was like, okay, huh?
What was he on the couch?
I had COVID.
He had COVID.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that part.
I had COVID. He did not, and I didn't want him to get it.
Right.
So he went and stayed over at a friend's house for a couple of days. But it kind of drove some stuff. I'm working through some things now, the long distance and all of that. So it was kind of hard to get back on the train. But I'm pulled in 2 different directions because I'm sure y'all have seen me in the video with the little one that I posted the other day. Who can leave that face? And when I got back, he came that he heard me downstairs, and he came downstairs. He said, "Uncle Derek, you came back." I said, "Don't I always come back?" He said, "Yes, you do."
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Really
I'm glad you came back to us.
He's always glad to see me.
And so are we, Uncle Derek.
And I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
It's I'm working through some things, but I'm glad to have this time to come here and share with you all. And
I'm glad.
I can tell you about some stuff that happened on my trip once we are no longer live because everybody don't need to know my business.
Right.
It's paid for your business now. It's going to be on Patreon.
I mean, if they pay to hear it, then good for them.
Right.
We got it down where you can actually view it live now instead of having to wait for the recording. Yeah.
Boom.
I'll put the link in the chat. So.
So they stick around after the fact?
Yeah, they're still there.
Brother Cousin Jeff, what you got coming up this week? Tell us something good.
Well, originally I was supposed to be leaving tomorrow to go on my cruise, but of course I canceled that over a month ago because it just was too dangerous right now.
You didn't want to be the outbreak.
Yeah, I did not want to be a part of the outbreak monkey and going and being on a boat right now. Although it would be fabulous to sit and look at some water and drink some cocktails with pretty umbrellas in them. I had to be an adult.
I want to try to make a version of that happen for you. We'll talk about
Right. So
I am so sorry, but I do understand.
Yeah, but this week coming up, I'm hoping. Well, just work has still been steady. Luckily, we are seeing a slight decrease in our numbers of people coming in to get tested. But this Omicron thing is just not letting go just yet. So that is definitely keeping me busy. But no, I'm just excited this week. I actually am going to take a day or two and just do me. I hadn't done that in a while, so I'm in a good space now. I think to take a break for a couple of days. And I always talk about that on here, but self-care is important. So I'm going to practice that myself this week. So I'm going to, like you said, I got a room full of vinyl that I need to go through and sort some of it. So
I'm coming over.
Come on. Look, I got some wine and we can sit and go through my records.
Come on, Dale. I drink wine. I love it. Absolutely.
But yeah, no, I'm practicing. This week I'm going to take. I'm going to be intentional in taking time for Jeff. So,
ladies and gentlemen, self-care. Do it. Especially in the time of pandemic, we all need to self-care and be mindful of routines. Like if you just go to work, you come home, you go to sleep. Do something different. Break the routine because the monotony can mess with your mental, and we're gonna do something. The proprietor and owner of M3 with the best afro in the business, Malcolm Travers. The beautiful and talented Malcolm Travers. Dainty and lovely Malcolm. No, he's 6'7" to be real. So, I'm all being real funny. The dainty and lovely Malcolm Travers.
Yeah.
What do you have coming up this week?
We got the M3 Bearcast, so we put that up coming out Tuesday. We got Devon's live stream tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
now, I discovered, Derek, I discovered they do much more than an hour.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they usually on for about 2 hours. I've actually sat with them on another show, so yeah.
Yeah.
Sammy has Sammy says, "What do y'all think the next variant is going to be? Phi Beta Sigma or Omega Psi Phi?"
I'm sorry. What do we think of what?
The next variant? Oh no, it's a remix of Delta and Omicron.
Yeah,
Deltacron.
Yeah,
Deltacron. Yeah. And then
no, but I understand now what he means by that because we don't need no barking variants with that Omega Psi Phi.
Right.
Flurona. There's that one. Flurona.
My new response to everything these days is, oh wait, this is the bad place.
Oh god. Yeah.
Fantastic. So tune in, and don't forget to tune in Wednesdays here at 6 p.m. live, so you can see the lovely and talented.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
That's a money shot.
I can tell you double that face front.
Right. Wow. I like it.
It's the sun in my eyes for me.
It was our first cut of 2022.
Right, fresh cut. So join him Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where he will bring you not quite as much as fuck shit as I do. He will bring it and give it to you nerd shit. I give him with a taster of bullshit. Great photo type says. It is a great photo.
Thanks.
Photogenic. Shouts out to your mama and your right. Just meat mug all over here. All in the blue zone. Right. Next week. Shit. The same as I'm sitting right here at this damn very desk, pumping it out, making it happen for you all. Doing what I gotta do. Staying so I know I talk about my struggles with being anxious and all of that shit. It's back. but it's not as bad because I know what it is, and I just simply tell myself I am not afraid of the feeling. I'm not afraid of the feeling of being anxious, and so that's really helping. And I'm not. I just if I'm not staying in quarantine. I'm gonna put on. You missed it, Jeffrey. You should have the KN95 mask. These are what they are. To be stay open like so, and they have the metal piece at the top. And this is the difference between this and a cloth mask. It has the double reinforcements on the inside. Okay, so if we want to go outside, we need to have these properly on our face plates. So please invest in these. Your government, Joe Biden, is going to give every American 3 per person. You have to go to the Walgreens or wherever to pick them up next week. Please order your self-testing kits or go to more.
Here, they're sending us 4, which is great because there's 5 people in this house.
Well, to answer your question, Uncle Derek, if you go down to the store and you find that extra one, the government or your insurance company will reimburse you for the.
Yeah, they will do through insurance. That's true.
Right, or if you don't have insurance, you just send the government the receipt. They'll send you money.
Yeah,
right. That's saying that you have money because inflation is super high. What the fuck ever. So next week's assignment will be on to song number 2 out of 7. So we'll have a wonderful conversation with the boys and the fellows. Has everybody got their second song in?
Oh yeah.
I got more than 7 at this point. I might have to double up.
Well, you can double up. Listen, it's about the.
I'll talk about another one in Patreon. How about that?
I got several. And then so tune in. Speaking of Patreon, so tune in. There's the link down there. Join us.
Yes.
We work really hard. Malcolm works really hard. He cracks the whip on me quite often. Read.
We haven't done a book yet, though.
Read, boy, read. Oh my God. I've been on a graduate school for 20 years now. So you're just wondering. So I'm your host and talented Mr. Dre. We know you have a choice in your internet entertainment. Thank you for choosing M3 as you do every Saturday. I will bring you the news and the fuck shit from coast to coast. I'd like to thank all our fans from Spain to El Segundo. I appreciate you tuning in. Next week, look at Uncle Derek. Look at that. I want to pinch his cheeks. Look at that. So listen. So join us next week. I am saving, and I'm not doing inboxes for the next few weeks. Let's continue to write. Me and Will still have correspondence. You know who I'm talking to. And ladies, I'm gonna make this announcement. Please stop sending me news. Like, I appreciate you as a fan, and I do. You can only see so much tail and stuff. Like, yeah, I appreciate it. Stop spreading porn. Like, it's okay. I love it. I love you. It's okay. Contact me. I can answer your questions.
Greg is not an accountant.
No, I am not. Thank you, Uncle. And there's nothing, and I love to correspond with the people. I will ask any question about my person that I can. But, I'm in public sometimes. And, when I open my inbox, somebody spread eagle is not always a good thing. And,
oh, yeah, that reminds me. I have to tell you about my experience like yours, Greg. I'll do that offline.
Oh, yes. So, again, join us on Patreon.
No, yes. I had a similar experience to Greg's work this pussy in church scenario. So I'll share that with
Al Blockton said he would really like the porn. So somewhere on the internet.
What do you do?
Him the porn. For sure. We will see you in a few seconds on Patreon. Please join us. Hit the link. Again, Roger, thank you for choosing M3. We'll see you next Saturday. Hi-oh.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah. Oh God, I couldn't.
We're good.
Okay.
So yeah, now we're actually live on Patreon. So if people want to go there, they can.
I remember. Hi, Sammy. Have those inside.
But it's only Sammy who's on there. So.
Right.
So
hey, Sammy.
I will tell y'all.
Yeah.
A couple things happened.
Okay.
First, I got higher than I've ever been before.
That's good. That's good.
I mean, no, it wasn't. Like, it was borderline. Yeah. Like, at some point, that shit was just coming in waves. And all I could do was sit in the chair, and I had to close off like 1 sense every 5 minutes. Like, the TV was on, but it sounded real far the fuck away. Or I had to close my eyes. Or I had to just turn my brain off because my body could not. My body couldn't take in all the sensory input that it normally got at the same time. And our friend Ruben was over, and he was holding my hand, and I could feel the pressure of him holding my hand, but I couldn't actually feel him holding my hand because it was like I was moving in and out of fucking reality.
Yeah.
And I was like, bitch, I'm never doing this.
I had a similar experience, Derek. I bought some of this from Cali that concentrated and I normally they literally say just use a bit, and I guess I did a little bit too much. I was so high, I got up and took a shower. I sat up in the bed. I was like, okay, I don't like this.
I was scared. I was like, I don't want to be high no more. Can we stop? Can we stop?
Oh god.
Yeah, no, I had that happen, and because I said, I don't do plants. I only do the oil, and the concentrates of things are so I got this in California, and this is some of the strongest cannabis that I have.
You know what? I'm going to Jeff House. Jeff House sounds like a good time.
I got music.
I know it sounds. This is how I explained it to Jared, because Jared got almost equally as high. It is, we have controls over ourselves. We have learned to kind of control our senses to a point. When you want to hear something that's real far away, you got to concentrate. You almost turn your hearing. You don't actually turn your hearing up, but you focus more on it. So you've developed some form of control over things about your body. You lose all that shit. And it's just literally the high was just coming in waves, and there was just no control over any of my senses. My mind was out there. And I was like, come back, man, come back. And it was like, no.
Come back, Nikki, come back.
Right. Oh.
I have not taken anything since I got back Thursday.
That's good.
I said, bitch, you're going to dry out first. Because I was out I was there.
Are you okay with me?
Yeah, no, I feel you there, because I got a little bit left in here. I was like, you know what, it's gonna stay in here. I'll keep doing my job or whatever. Because that was too much of a high.
Yeah.
So next week for me is going to be Aaliyah's "Are You That Somebody?"
Okay.
Life changing, because it's a hip hop tango. Doom, doom, and it's the juxtaposition of that hard beat. Doom, doom.
And that baby sample, that was
the baby sample from. You know where that sample is from?
No.
It's just Delirious.
Oh.
You know the end of Delirious.
Right.
What song are you talking about?
Are You That Somebody by Aaliyah.
Oh, I don't know that one. Okay. Yeah, I don't know any Aaliyah song.
Okay.
No, I was a fan. Actually, like I said, literally, I had lunch with a friend earlier, and we was talking about, we were both music. That's how we used to go to concerts and the whole nine. And we recently have been reconnecting, and we talk about
it's
music.
nice that you take someone to a concert. Don't take me.
We went to concerts. This was years ago. Years and years.
No,
I told you I don't listen to much music made past 1997.
Wow. And, well, I think Are You That Somebody was what, 96?
Yeah, it was like 96, 97. That was on the Dr. Dolittle soundtrack. Cool. And we was talking about that, even the fact that soundtracks actually had some of the best music, like Boomerang and
I was just going to say, Boomerang was an amazing soundtrack.
That album was an epic by itself.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't do that anymore.
Let's not forget motherfucking Waiting to Exhale.
That's what I said. Waiting to Exhale was another one.
Yeah, and Shoot was the worst song on there. Shoot.
It had to grow on me, but no, that album, because like you talk about Shaka Khan's version of My Phallic Valentine, I think by far is my favorite because of that album. Because like you said, that song has been covered.
This is how it works. This is how it works. Hey,
And Sitting Up in My Room, which was one of Brandy's huge hits.
Yeah.
So, you know, End of the Road by Boyz II Men.
Mary Blige.
Yeah, You're Not Gonna Cry. We talked about that. The fact
I
that,
think your lover and your secretary.
right.
Secretary. Right.
And that was good, but like the fact that, you know, they just don't make soundtracks anymore. Like, you know, like, you know, and like, you know, we love the instant nature of music now, but like we talked about, like, I miss liner notes and pictures, and like, you know, it's good to be, oh, there's a new album, but where's the, you know, we would sit there and read and drink and talk about it and discuss, like, and even during that time, like, you had people like background singers like Lisa Fisher and other people that were artists in their own right.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I remember one that was pretty good recently was what Judas and the Black Messiah. It was a pretty good
With her,
soundtrack.
her that was she won an Oscar for.
Yeah, that was
You know.
really good.
So
They still do them. It's rare, but they exist.
I gave them the notes for who is Jill Scott's first album. Jill Scott.
Oh yeah, that's
The liner notes are amazing. I'm such a geek. It's
Well,
so-
Spotify is at least giving us the lyrics and everything.
well,
Yeah.
music is too, but
yeah. They all kind of do that now, but it's just not the like. I do enough looking at this sometimes. Like we thought, like with even reading, when I was in school and because I was doing it online, they would offer us a lot of, we could do digital books or physical books. I found that I couldn't get the same appreciation from a digital book. Like I physically would order my books and have them shipped to me because it's something about having that in my hands that allowed me to consume it better.
well, when I went to school with Jesus, we didn't have that.
Not with Jesus.
Oh god.
With Jesus.
His book was on the stone tablet.
Right.
It was
It's gonna just inject it into your mind at some point, I guess.
like Jesus.
Technology is gonna
Right.
flash like, oh, okay, I know everything from
There's
this.
a lot of people online too. Good goodness.
Yeah, we did.
You guys
Yeah,
got
actually,
on
was-
count when I got on and stayed studying until the end of the show.
Yeah.
We got up to 16 at one point. I was like,
Yeah. And also, like I said, I have to say, you know, I recently shared a link for M3 with someone, and they told me Malcolm has a wonderful radio voice and he's quite handsome.
yeah.
That's funny.
Somebody, after I kept mentioning how tall he was.
You know, they love us all, man. But no, Greg, I can now say you're not alone in your work this pussy.
Oh,
saga.
what happened?
So in my office, and Greg, you've been to my office, so you know that my office is right next to our waiting room.
It is.
And literally, like I have the corner office, but I got just sitting literally on the other side of my wall is our waiting room, and I have a speaker. I have one of the Beats speakers on my desk, pretty loud. And I had forgotten because I play random playlists when I'm at work. I had forgotten that I added Tiana Taylor to this list and her version of "Work This Pussy." And it's on repeat, and it went from like, matter of fact, that was and as my coworker said, it was a change up. So we was in there, and it was playing Anita Baker and the Winans, "Ain't No Need to Worry."
Ain't no need to worry.
And it went from that, and I had cut it up because, you know, older music is recorded at a lower level. So I get up and I walk out to the waiting room because we had people coming in, and I hear this loud beat kick in, and all I hear is "Work This," and I was running to my office. My phone was on my desk, and I cut it off, but not before. Luckily, it was only about 3 people in the waiting room, but my coworkers did not let me. And this literally happened yesterday. I texted Greg, and I was like, "You're not alone."
Right. Did you tell them my story? It was worse. Oh my! At least you were at work. You don't know my story over there?
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Okay, so picture it. Atlanta, 2021.
Right.
Like it was last month. It was like last January, actually. It was like last December or January or something. So I have a friend of mine who's a singer, and his music needs some updating. So I was like, you really should put some club music to it. And so I played the original version of Work This Pussy. But I was super excited, so I just put my phone back in my pocket. I was like, yo. But I had won the lottery to go to church. Because we, at that time, were going to lottery by church by lottery. Now, that's a whole other story. I had to call the lady at the bank a whore. And,
Right. You didn't have to call her a whore, but you did.
No, I had to call her a whore.
You know what?
No, I had to call her a whore. So I get up. I'm super excited. Like I Uber to church, and it's something about going to mass after you've been stuck in the house for a year. Like I'm so glad to share this time with Jesus. Me, Jesus, and Mother Mary. You know what I mean? So like,
Right.
So I get in there, and I take my phone out of my pocket to turn it off, or the ring off. Uncle Derek, I dropped my phone. I drop my phone, it hits the ground, and it begins to play. Work this pussy. Work this pussy. Not even the old, not even the new version, because in the new version, it takes her a while to get to work.
Right.
Oh, wow.
The old version, it starts work. She starts working her pussy immediately. So it didn't stop at that, yo. So then it's my phone doesn't like fall. It falls and it begins to slide. So you know how things start to go in slow motion. The phone. Now I'm like
slow motion in real time. Yeah.
Right.
So now the phone is now literally slid to the other side of the pew. COVID. Nobody's in the pew with me. So now I'm crawling on the floor to grab my phone. As the original.
While this song is still playing, mind you, right?
If you listen to the song, the first minute of the song is just completely work this pussy. Completely work this pussy. I get to the end of the pew, I get greeted by shoes. Shoes. And their old clunkety nun shoes.
Oh.
And this is the face.
That's funny.
Hold on, wait a minute.
No, you have to look at the face, Derek.
This is my face. I'm half of 100, and I'm afraid of this one. So I'm on my knees, like, So she's like, out. Like the black woman on Tom and Jerry. OWT Tomcat, out.
Right.
So I get out to the vestibule as I'm being shunned by the other parishioners, like the Salem Witch Project. Sit there.
That is horribly funny.
40 Hail Marys later, I was allowed back in the sanctuary.
How many Hail Marys?
40.
Was that one for each work this pussy?
I mean, they just take you out back and flog you. Shit.
I know. I think so. My priest is my friend, so he tells me
that would have been good.
Well, yeah, he's a non-practicing gay, so of course he got this kick out of it. So he points to me. He's like, "Don't you move? Not you. You stay. I let this mass out, sir. Not you." Okay. So we get back out to the vestibule. He's like, "Drayton, what happened?" I was like, "Brother John, I don't know." Now this is on the heels of my pants being down with no drawers on a few months prior.
Jeez.
Greg, next time you win the lottery, get another spot for me because I just need to be there for the laughs. It sounds like.
I might need some help. You're right. Oh my goodness, God! Like,
Well, the scariest thing happened to me on the train.
What was that?
They put a motherfucker off. I guess I look, dude was sitting in front of me. I don't know what the fuck happened. He was there. He left. They did a changeover on the conductors. This white woman conductor came through. I guess she took his bag from over his chair because he was supposed to be gone. He wasn't sitting there no more. I don't know. Because again, I was on the train.
He was a damn stowaway. That's what he was. He probably.
I mean, he had here's the thing. I know he had a ticket at one point.
Right.
He stayed on because they stopped. I tell you, I see.
But then he disappeared on the train somewhere. And I can only assume he went in the back where the sleeper cars and stuff were. Because then he came back, and again, this was like 2:00 in the morning. He came back and he asked me, "Did she take my bag?" I was like, "Dude, I'm half asleep. I got my headphones on. I'm half asleep. I don't know." Like so he left. He left. He came back a few minutes later with the bag and an attitude. And I was like, "Oh, he mad about something. Okay, whatever." Right. I had look, because I know how to travel on the train. I had my head pillow on. I had my hood up. My music is on. I'm in my own little world. I fall asleep. I wake up because I feel aggression around me. I wake up with these two white cops standing there, getting ready to put him off the train. But they were something close to me.
Was he white?
He was not. He was black, and so was I. And when I woke up and looked out from up under my blanket, and the two white cops were standing there, and one of them saw me moving, because I had my blanket. I got whatever you're doing, slow the fuck down, because you in Ohio, I think. Yeah, I just didn't go back to sleep after that. That shit was frightening.
Oh my god! That because dude got on in Delaware, and I would imagine.
No, he got on in New York. He got on somewhere around where I got on because I got on the north. So he had been on the train, and they hadn't scanned any of our tickets when we first got on. They didn't scan our tickets till later. But what the conductor told him, because the same thing happened with me. If they don't scan your ticket in the first hour of you getting on the train, Amtrak cancels all your shit.
Wow.
And if you've booked your connections through Amtrak, all that gets canceled too. Because they can be your train.
You gotta say if they didn't. Oh, that's problematic. I'm glad they.
And because when dude scanned my ticket. Because I had it on my phone with dude, he said, "Yeah, same thing happened to you. Are you making any connections or anything?" I said, "No, mine is a straight shot to Chicago." He said, "Okay, well, you'll be all right. We see your ticket, so we know that you have it. But yeah, if you had any connections or whatever, they gone. You have to call customer service." And we were getting ready to head up into the mountains. I can't think of the mountains where they fuck each other's cousins.
Blue.
In Virginia.
Appalachian.
Appalachian. Getting ready to head up into the Appalachian Mountains. There's no Wi-Fi in the Appalachian Mountains.
Right.
But that trip that long, I would have got me a damn sleeper car.
I don't like sleeper cars. I'm too big for sleeper cars.
Remember you said you almost got stuck in that car
in that motherfucker. I told you I got stuck in the bathroom. If I can't do the family bedroom and those things are like $2,000, no. I ain't nobody sitting next to me. And I was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I look at work as pussy totally different now. I'm kind of. Yeah.
Now, Greg, you gave us your choice, but I'm curious. You know, you said 7 songs. What was? I know you had more than 7. What was a throwaway song? I'm curious.
Oh God, what was my throwaway? Oh Jesus. Victim by Candy Staten.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah.
Me too. But only why I threw it away because I didn't want to cry on air. Because that is the song that my mother played when I was learning how to walk. And you hold those 2 bars, which I'm gonna cry right now. Jesus. And this is why I took it off the list. So she was like, "Oh, come to mama." And then she whipped out the boom box with the 8-track player on, and she put in Victim. And I danced all the way down to my mama, and she kissed me so tightly, and I would just remember, because I'm a victim. And I was 3, so that's probably when my gayness started. I was just like, I'm super gay. Like super gay.
Oh God.
Yeah, I took it off the list but it's on there. It's definitely in the top 4, but I took it off. I didn't want to cry on TV.
Yeah.
I love that song.
And then my mother consequently loved it too. And she would put on dusters and clean up the house to it. I wasn't hard to know she was singing about my stepfather. So, it's like, I'll let you go. So yeah, that I had to take that off. I took off Elton John's "I'm Still Standing."
That's a good one.
Yeah, I took that off. I took off I took off a lot. I took off "Woman in Love" by Barbra Streisand and Barry Gibb. It's the melody for me. It's the melody in the crescendo. I'm just a woman in love. I'll do anything. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful fucking song. It's just beautiful.
Barry Gibb has a rather large penis, right?
So I've heard. Yeah.
They was doing it like that down under, literally.
I was watching Sergeant Pepper one day, and they did they panned the shot across, and he was wearing these white pants, and I was watching it because it's the first time I had watched it as an adult, and I was like, was that a shadow? And then I had to go back. I was like, oh no, that's Barry Gibb's penis running down his leg. Jesus Christ!
They said he's very gifted. That's why she was
and not just as a songwriter. Obviously.
That's why she was a woman in love, that she would do anything. I took off MacArthur Park. I took off what is it? Oh my man, I love him so. Billie Holiday. They never know.
I know.
My man by Billie Holiday.
Right.
For personal reasons, I took that off because I was having man problems at the time, and I was just like, he isn't true. He beats me too. What did I have to do? No, that part wasn't true, but I was definitely having man problems. So I was like, yo, I'm gonna take that off for personal reasons. What else? I took off Prince's Private Joy. That's when I discovered masturbation. I was about, and that was my masturbating song.
Wow.
Joy.
Your masturbation had a soundtrack,
right?
I didn't have time for all that setup.
I was doing it. I was in
I just had to make sure the door was locked.
Oh, that is too funny.
Oh my! Oh, excuse me. Our Clee car broke.
I was gonna say, are you being called for steak and potatoes, Greg?
No, steak and potato car broke down.
Oh.
Yeah, I had to cancel.
Well, I hope to be here next week, but I have been invited to go see a reenactment of The Bluest Eye.
Please go to that.
with puppets.
Please go to that. And
I'm going to that. I'm not sure what time it's going to
do
be.
you need money to get there?
So that's why I'm telling you I may not be here next week.
I will.
It's the bluest eye with puppets. So yeah.
Now Toni Morrison doesn't translate well to the screen, so
I mean, maybe again it's puppets. So we're gonna see what happens.
Water.
We love Toni though. We love Toni Morrison.
Yeah.
Just her and Nikki Giovanni were two of my favorite people in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, I took off On a Limb by
Ooh.
Another heartbreak I didn't want to remember. Oh my
So
God.
I guess I wasn't the only one then that was having to act certain ballads then. For
Yeah.
me, it was I Tried by Angela Bofield.
I
love that song, like the vocal just by itself.
I took because I recall being on the floor house in DC and just shirtless.
And another one, and that, like you said, that was because that was my go-to breakup song. Like people knew.
I love I Try.
It was I Try, and because literally, like the words of that song just would speak to me. Like I tried to do all that I can do. Like at that point, you just done.
Yeah. I got nothing left to hear.
I kept this song on the list, but I was about to take it off. X Factor
by Lauryn Hill.
I kept it on.
I would have kept that one too.
Angela Bofield was the first artist that allowed me to be musically contemporary with both of my parents at the same time. Because neither one of them had heard of her. And I introduced her to both of them at the same time.
Okay.
I grew up in because I realized a lot of my songs, like you said, Derek, I have a lot of songs that are just not known because I had such a musical family. And that was also during the time when we played albums. We just didn't play singles or tracks.
Exactly.
So you listen to the whole album, even if it was an unreleased, track, or just because I know what the other one for me was that I took off was Patti LaBelle's live version of If You Don't Know Me By Now.
Oh my God, I would have cried immediately.
And that's because, like you said, it just emotionally, like when she gets to that end and she just does that, no, like I was like, I'm done. So a lot of that stuff, and a lot of that also for me came out of, like we were talking about, the conversation with the clubs, because a lot of the girls used to perform those songs.
Yeah.
So the drag shows were, I got introduced to a lot of music just through these drag shows because they would perform these little offbeat songs, and like you would almost feel like they were the artist. Like they would. I remember we had one because it's been done now so many times, but what's the one from Dreamgirls? I'm Telling You I'm Not Going. We had a drag queen, her name Lady Fabian. Lady Fabian Sanchez used to get down on the floor and get naked. She was big girl, but she would literally make you. You knew she wasn't going. I mean, she would get down that floor and crawl.
A song that I kept, and I may do it next week. It's very emotional. "Joy Inside My Tears" by Stevie Wonder.
So there's so for me, Stevie Wonder, I mean, there's a lot of songs to pick from.
Yes.
But I can't pick a song from this album. I have to do the whole album.
Which one?
And it is Journey Through the Secret Life of Clams.
I am with you.
For me, it's Songs in the Key of Life.
And for me, it's
Have you heard Macy Gray's version of that album?
Yeah, no, that's what Greg was talking about. I'm the one that told Greg about Macy Gray. Gavin told him about Nina Simone. Lettucey, I'm sorry, Lettucey, Nina Simone.
So you know what my favorite song is on that album that she did?
What?
Maybe My Baby.
That was
is the best. Like that, it was so good. It almost was like that's what the song was intended to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe my baby's got nails.
And like you said, Stevie's just so hard because for me, like my number one, and we'll talk about this on the show, is As. Like that song.
Yeah,
like,
but that kind of stuff. I wanted to go deeper with Stevie because, like, Joy Inside My Tears is just so, like, for someone to come into your life and they go inside your tears and extract joy is one of those things that it doesn't even have to be a romantic sense that you brought joy inside my tears. And it's amazing. Like, wow. Like, I was a young man when I heard it, and I remember talking to my mother about it. You know, she wasn't a particularly musical person, but you know, I think that was you know, just it was amazing. It was, but if I Was Your Girlfriend made it.
For me, with Prince, that was hard. But for me, what ended up on the list was Sometimes It Snows in April.
See, that took me to sadness.
And it does, because it reminds me, like we said, you know, in my my early 20s, I lost so many friends.
Yeah.
And just the feeling that, like, it's also what I took off was Another Lonely Christmas, though, because like you said, they both kind of go hand in hand.
Yep, I took it off,
and that was way too much emotion. Like,
yeah, I had to take it off.
I can't pick a Prince. I there's too many. It's too many. It depends on how my chemical balance is working that particular day. What I'll do.
Whether or not I'm tired, whether or not I'm like, all of that. Prince and Stevie, you know, are definitely two, because you know, realizing that I'm drawn to musicians necessarily more than singers at times.
Right.
You know, and him and Prince and Stevie were both musicians.
For me, it's Prince, Stevie Wonder, Earth, Wind and Fire, and Incognito.
So, you know, a viewer made a comment that Prince is this generation's Mozart. Agreed.
The Prince is this generation's what?
Mozart.
I could co-sign on that.
Oh my God!
And
yeah,
no, you're right though. I mean, what I was going to say to Derek also, Incognito is one of my favorite groups of all time.
Is it just? I did not know
but
that.
No, Deep Waters is on my list.
You and I could sit and have conversations for hours.
I love
Incognito.
Yes, I love, like, there's something about UK soul. I feel like it's just a special thing. But I actually got a chance when me and EJ went to London the first time to see D-Influence, which was huge in the 90s, acid jazz group. Bluey was actually at the show, him and one of the guys from Jamiroquai. So
I have a Bluey story. So I actually came to Atlanta to see Incognito, and my friend Kyle was supposed to get the tickets, but of course he hadn't gotten the tickets, and they were playing that one night in like 7 states.
Yeah.
So 7 states around, everybody fucking came. So of course there were no tickets that night. So I was angry. This is one of those things. I tell people all the time. You do some nice shit for somebody here, you get a payment for it here. I had seen Incognito in Chicago like 7 years earlier. I went to a comic book convention earlier that day and then went to the concert that evening. I was so moved by the concert that night that they were staying at the hotel across the street. I went to the hotel across the street, wrote this note out, and I gave Bluey this Batman t-shirt that I had bought, that I had really been looking through. And I was like, I just got to tell this man how much I enjoyed it. So I left the t-shirt for him at the hotel. Well, anyway, 7 years later, I'm in Atlanta. Ain't no more tickets. I'm standing outside, angry, and Bluey is outside. And I walked up to him. I said, Bluey, I think you're amazing. I think you're clever. He was like, thank you. You come for the concert. I said, yeah, but I don't have no tickets. I said, but I have to tell you, about 7 years ago in Chicago, you got a Batman t-shirt. I don't know if you remember that. He said, that was you? I said, that was me. He said, okay, how many of you is it? I said, it's just me and my friend Kyle. He said, okay, hold on. He wrote this note, gave it to somebody, scurried off. He said, in 15 minutes, you'll have tickets. Don't worry about it. Enjoy the concert.
Wow.
That is it.
It's amazing though when you can meet. And
Bellissimo Mall is the name of the place in French.
Right.
Bellissimo Mall. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they talk about that in the Root song "You Got Me." If you get that they had just performed, and I could never get the name because my French is I like to butcher it so bad.
Me too. Because I have a Prince story in Bellissimo Mall. I cried so bad because I lost my ticket, and the stupid date I was with had his. Well, Greg, you go back to the hotel, and I always thought Prince and I had this connection that we really didn't have. But in my head, you know, like remember the episode that Rose thought Bob Hope was her father?
Right.
It was like, you know, in some weird universe, Prince and I.
Prince is your daddy somewhere, Greg.
Yeah, it was not sexual. You know, it was just, you know. But in this, it really worked out because my crippled ass was standing outside of Bellissimo Mall, cold and raining, as Paris always is, unless it's springtime.
Right.
And so the big bodyguard with the gray beard, I forgot, I can't. So he was like, "Sir, why are you here?" I was like, "Oh my God!" I just broke down. So he went and got Kat. I guess she was the only one that was available at the time. He went and got Kat, and she said, "Well, I'm gonna, talk to CNC." And she said, "Where's your friend?" And I was like, so she was like, "And you lost your ticket?" I was like, "Yes." And so she was like, "Well, if I had security walk you in and you found your friend, would you be?" And I was talking to Kat. I was like, "Yeah." And so I was like, "Yes." And then as I'm walking through to get to the seats, Prince comes out and just leaves.
And you didn't spontaneously just combust? Because I would have.
By the time I combusted, remember my ex was in the line. We were we was on the receiving line for Prince.
Right.
And when he told me he created the internet, that's when I combusted.
That's as bad as the time I met Pam Grier, and I couldn't say
the story. Oh my God!
You're a big old handsome thing, aren't you?
Right.
I said, Derek, did you have to give the geisha laugh?
I mean, I was surprised that came out. I couldn't say shit. It was Pam fucking Grier.
Some people you meet and they just have that impact on you. I mean,
she called me a big old handsome thing. I was no more dumb.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just like
I almost got a chance to see. I was in Paris in 2011. That was my first trip to Europe. And I had gone to Vienna first for a conference, and I decided to take the train. And I got to Paris on a Saturday, only to find out that Friday prior, Erykah Badu happened to be in town, and Prince was in town. So they went to the venue that Greg just named. They went there and just jumped on the stage randomly. And decided just to perform together. And I'm like, this kind of stuff only happens in New York, Los Angeles, and overseas.
So, when I was young and very attractive, I used to date a rapper on the low. And that was my other run-in with Prince, that he jumped on stage with said rapper and group and played a set. And I was in the wings. Now, I was told, please do not say anything to Mr. Prince. Okay. So yeah, I do need to write a book at some point, I guess.
Look, just leave a small portion of the proceeds to those that are needy. That's all I say, because it's gonna be a bestseller.
Oh my God! No, I'll probably get murdered before it comes out.
Look, give us a copy. We will make sure it gets published. Y'all tried to stop it, but damn it, it's still going.
Right, as I'm on my way to the
we'll create M3 Publishing. I'm going to put it out there. Our own publishing in print. We read enough books. Hell, why not?
There you go. All right, y'all. I'm going to go eat.
Yeah, that sounds amazing
And
right,
not
right
get
now.
caught.
I'm gonna, I literally ran and literally like got out of my car and ran and jumped right on the camera. So
Yeah,
it's
I'm
definitely
like going outside when it's cold, so I was kind of glad that these cars were better.
Yeah, I wasn't going to, but work called, so things are still moving.
Was everything okay?
Yeah, no, my boss is out. He actually is taking a much needed break. I told he was supposed to be back yesterday, and I was like, no.
No. What's wrong with
worked
Monday?
Thanksgiving, he worked Christmas, like I just take a break. So
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what's the difference between Saturday and Monday? Nothing.
right. But as I told him, like we were able to keep. He left. Last time he was in office was Tuesday. The office is still standing. It's still running.
And that's all that's important.
That's all that matters. So
Yeah.
that would
I
be
will see
that.
you gentlemen on Wednesday. Derek, will we see you on Wednesday?
Yeah. Oh, you said Derek.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Will we see you on Wednesday?
Yeah, I should be here Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll be here. So
All
I
right.
think I'm taking off that day, so I'll definitely be on.
Okay, I want to get my hand Monday.
All right, I'll see y'all then.
All right,
All right.
guys.
Bye.
All right. Peace.